How presynaptic neuron transmit impulse या action potential to postsynaptic neuron across synaptic cleft. Chemicals called neurotransmitters are involved in transmission of impulses at these synapses. Axon terminals contains vesicles that are filled with neurotransmitters. When impulse या action potential arrives at axon terminal, this stimulates movement of synaptic vesicles towards membrane, and these synaptic vesicles fuse with plasma membrane and release neurotransmitters in synaptic cleft. The released neurotransmitter bind to their specific receptors that are present on postsynaptic membrane, and this binding opens ion channels, allowing entry of ions which can generate new potential in postsynaptic neuron. The new potential developed may be excitatory or inhibitory. Brain is the central information processing organ of our body. It acts as command and control system. It controls voluntary movements, balance of body, functioning of organs which are vital and involuntary, for example lungs, heart, kidneys, etc. Thermoregulation, hunger and thirst, circadian, that is 24-hour rhythms of body, activities of several endocrine glands, and human behavior. Brain is the site for processing of vision, hearing, speech, memory, intelligence, emotions, and thoughts. Human brain is well protected by skull. Inside skull, brain is covered by cranial meninges. This consists of dura mater, outer layer, arachnoid, its middle layer very thin, and pia mater, it's the inner layer. It is in close contact with brain tissue. Brain is divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain consists of cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. Cerebrum forms major part of human brain. A deep cleft divides cerebrum longitudinally into two halves, left and right cerebral hemispheres. These hemispheres are covered by corpus callosum. It is a tract of nerve fibers. Layer of cells covers the cerebral hemisphere, and this is called cerebral cortex. It is thrown into folds which are prominent. Cerebral cortex is referred as grey matter due to its greyish appearance. Neuron cell bodies are concentrated here, giving it this color, grey color. Cerebral cortex contains motor areas, sensory areas, and large regions जो कि ना तो sensory है ना motor है. These are called association areas. These are responsible for complex functions like intersensory associations, memory, and communication. Fibers of tracts covered with myelin sheath constitute inner part of cerebral hemisphere. This gives opaque or white appearance to the layer, and therefore it is called white matter. Cerebrum wraps around thalamus. It's a structure, and it is a major coordinating center for sensory and motor signaling. Another very important part of brain is hypothalamus. It lies at base of thalamus. Hypothalamus contain number of centers that control body temperature and urge for eating or drinking. It also contains several groups of neurosecretory cells which secrete hypothalamic hormones. Inner parts of cerebral hemispheres plus group of associated deep structure like amygdala, hippocampus, etc. they form limbic lobe or limbic system. It's a complex structure. This, along with hypothalamus, is involved in regulation of sexual behavior, expression of emotional reaction, for example excitement, pleasure, rage, fear, and motivation. Midbrain is located between thalamus or hypothalamus of forebrain and pons of hindbrain. A canal called cerebral aqueduct passes through midbrain. Dorsal portion of midbrain consists of corpora quadrigemina. This is swellings or lobes which are four and round. It mainly consists of this. Hindbrain comprises pons, cerebellum, medulla. It is also known as medulla oblongata. Pons consist of fiber tracts that interconnect different regions of brain. Cerebellum has surface which is very convoluted to provide additional space for many more neurons. Medulla of brain is connected to spinal cord, and it contains center that control respiration, cardiovascular reflexes, and gastric secretions. Three major regions, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata, make brainstem. This forms connection between brain and spinal cord. We must have experienced that withdrawal, a sudden withdrawal of body part which comes in contact with objects that are extremely hot, cold, or pointed, or maybe animals which are scary or poisonous. This entire process of response, which occurs involuntarily, that is without conscious effort or thought, and this response is to peripheral nervous stimulation, and this response requires involvement of part of central nervous system. This entire process is called reflex action. Reflex pathway comprises at least one afferent neuron and one efferent neuron. Afferent neuron receptor and efferent, that is effector or exciter, and these two arranged appropriately in series. Afferent neuron receives signal from sensory organs and transmits impulse via dorsal nerve root into the CNS at the level of spinal cord. तो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड को भेजेगा इंफॉर्मेशन. Efferent neuron carries signal from CNS to the effector.